Tifa here with FBTV. We get the famous, hey, I want the toughest bloodline question all the time. I know I do. And I'm not going to tell you it frustrates me. I'm not going to tell you it annoys me. It's confusing because you're always just going to breed the dog in front of you. But let's look at the numbers. I just did a video on our for Instagram and the other platforms. The gist of it is this. Said female and male give their genetics. And let's say you start off and you in your mind you think, This is 50, and this is 50. Those are terrible 50s, by the way. In your mind, you say, okay, 50-50 contributed to this daughter. Well, what does this daughter get? She might only get 25% of one thing. And let me paint a picture of it. Marcus is behind the camera, and we've already did this so we could put in perspective. He has a son, and that son, his mother's white, Jamarcus is black and Native American, literally. Jamarcus is half Native American and he's half black. He's 50-50 beyond a reasonable doubt, right? Well, here's the challenge. He contributed 50% of his DNA to the other 50%, so the son is now half white, but he's a quarter Native American and he's a quarter black. And he looks like a mixed kid. We don't know what he's mixed with. I mean, we know, but we don't know, but we know. So if two people contributed 50-50, why didn't he have the same amount of genetics as his father? It don't work that way. It does not work that way. And if you're not honing in, locking in, dialing in, let's say tight feet from a pheno standpoint, or good hearts from a genetic standpoint. I want healthy livers. I want to avoid liver disease, which is a thing depending on your breed. And the carrion terrier, it's even been said or documented genetically that that dog gets aggressive. Now we're talking behavioral traits. There are 67 genes, as I've said before, that attribute to the integumentary system, aka your skin. So just in that, you could be doubling down on those problems. So you had a litter of 8 and you had 2 parents, one dog might have the worst skin conditions ever because he got that 1/8 problem that existed from great grandmother. So what are genetics? Well, I'm going to help you find out at some point. Not today, but I just wanted to paint a picture. In our mind, we see 50-50. Oh, well, this starts at 50, or does it? Is it 25? Is this 12.5? Because the blood's going to always dilute by half, point blank. You're diluting by half. And that's the irony of 50-50, which is why oftentimes this becomes 25 versus 50. Because this daughter never started with 100-100. Because it took 2 things to make 1 thing. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I just got up here. My head hurts. Had too much rum last night. Guys, we'll come back to revisit this, but I want you to be clear for those people that get all riled up and excited about this bloodline. I assure you, them blood people can't explain this blood stuff. And 9 out of 10 of them, if they were, they could walk you through every dog in their pedigree and tell you exactly who they were, what they did, why they bred them, all the traits to be concerned with, everything to double down on, and what to consider. Part of this reason I did this video, I'm inspired. Guy says a family member of his had pups, and he says, what do I look for? Because the dogs are kind of being aggressive. And I said, the challenge is if you don't know about the parents, because the pits are the grandparents, you could do everything right, and then one day that dog turn and flip a bitch on somebody because you didn't know the history of the dogs and what was really in there. So at 2 years old, let's say the dog lashes out or it's got a trigger that you didn't know was what. It's like game on. Stan, for instance, he learned this the hard way. His dog Juice, he said, Trevor, I'm about to get a game pit bull. I said, why would you do that? It's not a good idea. You don't want that problem. You know what those things do? Once the game is on, you can't turn it off. And I'm telling him this. So when he brings the dog, him and Ego are going at it. Not fighting, but they're going after a toy. Ego's winning. When Ego begins to win, Juice gets frustrated and he latches on to Ego's, not his back, but he actually had a vest on this day. So Stan couldn't get him off the vest. The game was on. Second thing, we're walking back. And what happens next? He bites Flex. And he gets him good. All I hear was, ah! I said, uh-oh, what happened now? So now, Stan will tell you, Juice can't be around other dogs. When Stan leaves town, the dog has to go back to the owner because the wife don't want to deal with it. She had a terrible experience one day watching Juice because she couldn't get him off another dog, and the dog went into the dog's cage. A game dog is not a dog to play with, people. And if you don't know, again, talking real pit bulls, what you're getting, the dog never, once he's seen the dog, oh, this is way more fun. It's over. It's over. So I'd love to help and try my best at times. These people who bring to me a lot of issues and problems they may be dealing with, and I believe they're doing things with the best of intent. The challenge is there's so much more than to a dog, just like in life. There's so much more than what we see. It's not always a good thing when it's super visible, right? You gotta really do some digging and know what you're getting. People, for now, take care of your dogs. Comment, like, subscribe, share, all those fun things. But please, be very cautious, careful when breeding and buying a dog even.